So, good morning. It's Tom O'Connor here at ILTACON2017, and I'm in the Case Manager Pro booth. That's booth number 136 for all you folks looking to find us. And I'm here with Toby Brown, my old buddy Toby, who's Chief Pricing Officer. Is that the correct title?
Today it's Chief Practice Manager.
Chief Practice Management Officer at Perkins Group. And so I'm wondering what your observation is. Have we not met expectations? Is the jury still out on that?
My feeling is we're always on the verge of realizing the benefit and value of technology, but we're never quite there. One of the ways I like to couch this is I believe you could take a lawyer from 1985 and drop them in today. You'd have to teach them email and Word, how to use Word and a few relatively simple technology things.
Right.
And they could practice law. It does not change that much.
Right.
From my perspective, one of the things I do when I go to a client and say, what are your business goals related to this matter? And that helps us come up with the kind of fee and what sort of incentives do we want. And I come back to the firm, we win the work, and the lawyers do it the way they've always done it. So that's why I say I always feel like we're on the verge of actually having some real deep, meaningful change. But, and frankly, I see it as core to my job, is getting lawyers to do it differently.
And in the webinar, we also talked about that latest Alton Wow survey, which showed that the problem, at least as they found it, was unwillingness to change the way we work, especially at the upper levels of management at the firm. The attorneys, not necessarily managerial folks like you, but senior managing partners, senior lawyers in charge of different departments,
with big books of business.
Yes, that they were, although they acknowledged technology, were not really implementing any changes or major changes in the way they practice.
I would say that's consistent, and I've been at 5 AmLaw 50 firms, and it's the market. It's not any one firm. It's the market.
So, as I observed earlier in the great words of Harry Truman, anybody can tell me I got a problem. I know I got a problem. Tell me how to solve it. What do we do?
So, well, I'm gonna make the problem bigger before I can solve it. The same problem exists in legal departments.
Right.
And they're starting to hire people like me now, and they can come in and make all these changes. They were going to do fixed fees, we're going to do all this other stuff, and their lawyers do it the same.
And that's the new buzzword in GC arena, legal ops.
The legal ops people, yes. And the whole, their association is called CLOC. So it's a whole other layer of lawyers unwilling to do it differently. In fact, this is a funny story, I had a friend at a firm that consults for in-house legal departments.
Okay.
And they said, we need to save money, we need to be more efficient. And he came in and he basically said, okay, number one thing is this senior lawyer is doing very junior lawyer tasks. And I think it was patent prosecution, as I recall. And they said, all you need to do is have her stop doing this, and she can move it like 4 steps down the food chain. You know what they said? Oh, no, not her. No one was going to go confront her and go, stop doing it.
So the buzzword that Chuck Cole from Case Managers, the person behind the camera right now, observing us, and he's smiling because he and I have been talking about workflow. That it's not so much even an individual change, it's a workflow or a collective change in the way practice groups, teams, perhaps even the entire firm work.
Exactly. So, getting to the solution, where I'm saying that we're on the verge is
We've been on the verge like 20 years.
Is the legal ops people.
Really?
And in fact, like I told you about, I have a client value director. His name is Keith Mazierick, came from DLA Piper. What we're doing is engaging real deeply with the legal ops people, because we've identified we both have the same problem. We need to find a way to get lawyers to change. And so what I'm giving away one of my big secrets here. I go to the legal ops people.
It's all right. We're only going to publish this on the on the World Wide
the
Web.
inner tubes. Is I go to them and I say, look, I'm going to reach a point where I'm going to need you to tell me I have to do something. Like, I'll give you a very simple example. I'm going to need you to tell me, in these types of matters, you must have project management.
Yeah.
I said, because as soon as you, client, tell me I have to do it, guess what? The lawyers will do it.
They will do it.
Because the lawyers go, oh, the client said we have to use project management. Well, and I'll probably go with a caveat to say, you have to pay for it. Because a lot of clients, and I talk to clients and say, you have to understand the law of unintended consequences. Because if you say, I won't pay for project management, then you won't get project management. It's not our overhead that magically appears. It's an expensive, valuable resource. So, and frankly, the legal ops people are telling me, okay, Toby, there's going to be times where I need you to say, in return, say, I need you to do X, like pay for project management. A favorite one I have to throw out to them is there's wonderful documents now called outside counsel guidelines.
Yes.
And they're chock full of all this stuff they won't pay for. So, and a very common one is we won't pay for librarians.
Right.
That's your overhead. So I say, okay, if you don't pay for a librarian, what that means is an associate with a billing rate twice the librarians will take 4 hours to do a 30-minute research project. But as long as you're okay with that.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh. But so developing the relationship between teams like mine and legal ops teams, I think that has a tremendous potential for change, to actually drive real change.
So what you're saying basically is the lawyers won't change on their own. It's going to take some outside pressure. Of course, in my world, in the litigation world, it's the exact same experience. It's the judge. They're not going to do something differently in the way they handle documents unless the judge calls them in and says, hey, you get a Judge Peck or a Judge Grimm says, this is what you're going to do, or you're going to face the wrath of insert judge's name here. But it's really funny. It's like Newton's 10th law. An attorney,
immovable force.
Yes, an attorney will not act unless acted upon by another equal or larger power, preferably in a black robe.
Well, but you've seen that there,
yes.
And I'm starting to see it. Once that happens, they change. They're like, okay.
And what's really funny is,
okay, we can do it differently, and they'll sit down. And
that's right. Then there's no blowback 6 months later, like this is horrible, or we're inefficient. They say, okay, yeah, we can do that. Yeah. And they do. And life goes on. So you think the legal ops influence will be that? It's sort of like celestial bodies, right? We know there's something out there at the end of the solar system because Jupiter is moving a certain way. There's a force acting on it that's pulling it with gravity.
Well, and I'm going to tell you an extremely recent story because this was last night at a bar here
Wait a minute, I thought what happened in Vegas didn't.
Well, this part was going to leak out. It was pure chance I ended up with one of our major clients at dinner.
Okay.
And it was also pure chance a good friend of mine, Ryan McLeod, who's with Neota Logic, the expert systems thing, he joins us for dinner. And so I'm like, Ryan, you need to tell this person, who shall remain unnamed,
yes,
what you do. And man, the client just lit up. And he was like, this is interesting. This will be doing it differently. And I said, yes, please. And so we're already talking about, we can identify 2 or maybe 3 different pieces of legal work where we will come and apply an expert system, and it will be a partnership between Perkins Coie, the client, and Neota,
right.
Come together, and so that will be doing it differently.
Interesting.
See, it's those conversations that sort of connection where, in fact, it takes me back to pricing. The best pricing conversations I have with clients are not with the lawyers. I mean, yeah, it's always good to talk to the general counsel, but if I can talk to their director of legal operations, I get to a solution
pretty quickly.
It's a win-win.
Interesting.
So developing that whole clock legal operations thing, it has great potential.
All right.